2023, beginning of the year, best way to start it off is to hit the Big Apple, New York. 25 years we've had squash in this extraordinary venue. We're in the main concourse here. We've got some pretty cool historical facts for you. Grand Central Station was actually based on the blueprint of Bristol Temple Meads, designed by Isambard Brunel. So it's a multi-platform station. Apparently there's over 150,000 people that come through the first part of the day through the morning every day here. So to showcase squash here is perfect. As we come from the main concourse, you'd have probably seen, any moviegoers, big movie fans, you'd have seen this place being utilised on so many different films. We've actually got a permit to film here. That's how strict it actually is. As you can see, we're being watched by the NYPD, but this is the box office. I won't pull the curtains open because John Nimmick could be changing behind there. That could be a little bit of a problem. John Nimmick, the tournament promoter, who was chief executive of the PSA through the 90s, saw the opportunity for this event and has been the promoter of this event for the entirety of the TOC. He also has the San Francisco event on the West Coast as well, but this is the box office. So you come right through, you've got the draw with the players' names, everything, so it's all very exposed and very open before you would actually get into the main auditorium. We're now going to come into Vanderbilt Hall, which is beyond extraordinary with the chandeliers. Kind of restaurants, nice bakery, stay away from the pastries, and a wine bar there as well, so it works out really nicely that punters can just pop in there, have a few drinks and some refreshments. And this is the main venue. Now it seats between 450 and 500 people. They try and squeeze people in the finals night, particularly because tickets are in demand. It's nearly oversold. There's so much demand for the tickets here. He basically sells out from the beginning of the week. The ticket prices are very expensive. I'd say the most expensive out of all the events, but then they're sold out. So you can understand why they would hit those prices. The front wall, the people are coming through, so there's a couple of access areas out of this station, but this is probably the main one. It goes on to Lexington Avenue, onto Fifth Avenue. So apparently during the day, just past this front wall, this exit, one of 4 exits out the building, you get over 15,000 people a day that will come past the front wall to see squash. And at times it can be nearly 10 deep with the public watching. So it works really, really well. It's a really, really good blueprint for exposure to get squash out to not just the squash community, but also to expose the sport to people that have never seen it before. Right, we're now going to take a walk into the court and really behind the scenes. You can see the flurry of people already coming in. It's the beginning of the day. So just behind me, you've got the Peruvian Puma having a hit before his match with Wael El Hindi, but we're going to now go into the auditorium. If I can get through. Come down. So you've got the side seating with a bit more of a gap as a thoroughfare. There is very strict requirements here with fire exits and certain sizes of exits. So the seating is that bit more limited because of that. The backstage, the back stand, should I say, seats around about 350 people. We're right in now underneath the bleachers. It's a tight space, but what you have here is Will Carling, who's doing his notes for his dulcet tones later on. And of course, he's wearing a gilet. Now that is part of the uniform for any American that likes to get dressed up. Apparently the gilet is the new blazer. So behind here, this is where the players warm up. So you've got media milling around here. You've got coaches, physios, volunteers that are working, that are on the player services up here. So this is literally the area where the players actually warm up. So it is actually quite tough. They've got the music on, but they're having to focus, do their warm-ups with lots of people kind of milling around. I mean, this is what happens at a lot of events, but it is a tight space here. Player services over there. Gregory Gaultier is just having a chat. He was on court earlier with Noor El Shabini. Okay, there's Greg. He's a busy bee at the moment because he's obviously coaching Mohammed Al Shabagi as well, but his charge is looking good. You confident about tonight?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is going to get a bit difficult for me. I told you this before last year when I did this. These are very steep. Okay, I'm talking about health and safety. Going to go up this way, but when you're as athletic as me, it's not a challenge. PJ struggles because he's obviously now in his late 50s. For me, it's easy. It's like my days when I was a fireman. I mean, we should just have a pole and just literally fly down. But this is only the one stage. So we've got the in-house, we've got all the in-house audio here. This is all the music, all the graphics that go up on the big screens. See the big screen, particularly over on this side, that works really, really well. So this is all a separate entity, but comes with the event. You can see the amount of gear that's used. There we are. Puts up with all our mumbo jumbo from the next stage. So we go up again, up to the bird's nest. Again, another very steep. And here we are. And here we are. This is where it all happens. It's a really, really cool position to be because you get the court, the atmosphere. We've got our screens, we've got our studio. Everything's shut off at the moment. And we've got the vantage point of here. So from a commentary point of view, we've always got screens that we work off of. However, to have the court right in view for us as well and get the atmosphere being there. Luckily, our commentary doesn't seem to carry down to the court because the acoustics here, it's very loud with the crowd. And it works really, really well. So it is a terrific vantage point for us. And you can oversee, see how magnificent the buildings are. This building is, sorry, with everything that's, it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, I've been coming here for years as a player and now doing the TV, and every year you kind of have a little bit of a smile to yourself to think, wow, what a venue.